guys, it's Eshani, aka Total Makeup Junkie 101. So today I'm going to be doing the much anticipated Q&A video. Today we are going to be talking all about my makeup line, which in case you guys don't know yet, I did start a makeup line. It is called Rani Cosmetics. I will go ahead and put the link to the announcement video down below, as well as a link to the video where I swatched my initial product release, which is 6 lipsticks. I'll put that link down below as well. There will also be a link to shop down below if you guys want to shop my lipstick collection. It'll be the first link in the description box for you guys. But today I am going to be going through my Q&A posts that I put up on my Instagram page, and I got over 100 comments, so I'm going to be going through as many as I can, especially a lot of the ones that were asked over and over again. Gone's Harm asks, what plans, if any, do you have for other products? Eyeshadows, blushes, eyeliner, etc. I do have plans to make lots more products. Rani Cosmetics is not just going to be lipsticks. I released lipsticks as my first launch because I love lipstick. It has a special place in my heart, but I am working on eyeshadows right now. Jack240 asks, do you plan to come out with liquid lipsticks one day? Yes, very soon. Glamour and Giggles asks, do you plan on collabing with other beauty influencers slash gurus, etc.? And when's the next launch for Rani Cosmetics? So do I plan to collab with any other beauty influencers? There are no collabs in the works at the moment. I probably will at some point. I'm not really sure. I haven't really thought that far in advance quite yet. And when's the next launch for Rani Cosmetics? Hopefully there will be a new product coming out within the next 2 to 3 months. Hopefully. Makeup_by_NV asks, what are the first steps you took to start your line? Was it a difficult process? So there are a lot of really similar questions here of like, you know, what were the first steps you took? How did you kind of like get into it? So I guess I'll just go ahead and tell you guys the mini story. But I decided that I wanted to have a makeup line quite a while ago. I mean, years ago. That was always the ultimate goal for just my life. That was my life goal. I really didn't know when it was going to happen or even if it was ever going to happen. It wasn't until I started working my 9 to 6 job, you know, at a desk, sitting there, not makeup related, by the way. That was the job I had. It was a marketing job. And I realized I didn't love it. It goes hand in hand with that famous quote that I absolutely love, which says, do what you love and you'll never have to work a day in your life. I think that is so true. I absolutely love that quote. So basically, I just decided to start it. The first steps were I needed to actually make it a company. So I went ahead and, you know, did all of the things on the back end of just making a business. And then I needed to find a lab. You can, and I know a lot of indie brands do this, is you can create cosmetics, you know, right at home and just make them yourself. I just personally didn't want to have the responsibility of hand formulating a product. I had absolutely no experience in that. So it's like what I would formulate would just be what I could Google, which I didn't want to do. I really wanted to have a good lab, some really trustworthy people behind the brand. So after many, many months of research, I did end up finding a lab. I was really, really lucky that the lab that I have now actually ended up taking on my project because they don't do a lot with new brands or with small indie brands. They really work with huge brands. I mean, brands that I know and love and buy from on a regular basis. And then came time to formulate and to create. And basically the way that sort of works in a nutshell is you give the lab what they call a benchmark. It can be a formula benchmark, color benchmark, whatever, a product that, you know, you already have or that's already out there that you want them to basically replicate, and then you tell them how you want them to change it and how to tweak it and how to make it your own. From there, you just keep going back and forth with the lab and the chemist, and you keep tweaking and altering until you have this brand new product that has absolutely no similarities to the original product that you started out with. It's funny because the lipsticks that I have now, the original benchmark I gave the lab is nothing like the lipsticks we have now. And it's just funny how that happens when you keep going back and forth with the lab and they keep sending new submissions. You keep getting further and further away from your original benchmark, which is what you want, because you want something that is your own. At least I wanted something that's my own. I didn't want to just fully replicate something else, because why would you buy my product if you could just buy something else? Amp the Glam asks, would you ever one day make something such as a palette inspired by your mom and have the proceeds go to something like Breast Cancer Research Foundation? I think that is a phenomenal idea. I never thought of doing something like that, but I definitely want to. That's an amazing idea. Rukma asks, what are your plans in terms of marketing? Do you think about advertising, PR for other beauty gurus, etc., etc.? Are you relying on word of mouth and social media only? So in terms of marketing right now, because it's an online only brand, and you know, this is a brand new little baby brand, I am really just relying on social media and on like word of mouth. Because Rani Cosmetics is a brand new brand, we are not releasing products every week, every month. You're not gonna see a new product launch like every couple days like you do with some other brands. The reason I want to go a little bit slower with the PR is because I don't want this product or this brand to turn into one of those brands that just sends out mass PR to everybody. Everybody talks about the product for about a week and then it's forgotten about the next week. I would really like the product to kind of hold its own and stand the test of time, and I know you can't really predict something like that, but I do feel like a lot of times when all the big influencers are talking about a product all at the same time because they all received PR at the same time, it definitely makes people question. I mean, it makes me question as a viewer, like, is this really that good, or are they just hyping it up because it's the new thing and the channel next to it is also hyping it up because it's the new thing, but in a week these people are not going to be talking about this product anymore? So you really start to question whether or not the product is good, and I really want my product to speak for itself. I don't want the PR hype to basically overwhelm and overtake the fact that this is a genuinely good product that I worked really hard to create. Softy NYC asks, do you plan on venturing into foundations, powders, etc.? So I definitely want to do complexion products. The reason I am not working on them right now is because, as we all know, matching foundations and concealers and powders and all of those kinds of things, it's really specific, and at least I never really buy a foundation online because the chance of you guessing your accurate color online is very slim. Let's be honest, even I can't do it half the time. So I always like to go into store and swatch it next to a foundation that I know already matches my skin, just so I can make sure I have the most accurate color match. And since Rani is only being sold online on my website right now and it's not in any stores yet, it just didn't really make sense at this moment to create foundations or concealers or complexion products that I know people are going to want to test for themselves first. That definitely doesn't mean we won't do it later on down the line. I would love to release foundations and concealers and all that kind of stuff. I would love for Rani Cosmetics at some point to be a full, well-rounded makeup line where you could just go and find things for your skin tone. That's really what I would love for it to turn into, but you know, small steps. We gotta take baby steps. We're still a small brand. AV.Emily asks, how long have you been developing this company? I started Rani in the summer of 2015. So it's been a long time, almost 2 years. Okay, this is another question that was asked quite a bit. Little Lion Girl 71 asks, could you please talk more about the business side? Like, how did you get into the funding to invest into starting a makeup line? Did you have to take out a loan? And you know, just basically the financial aspect of the company. So when I started Rani, I knew I was going to need a pretty significant amount of capital. Luckily, I did have a little bit that I could start off with, but I knew really quickly I would have to start getting investors into the company. So I do have one primary investor who's invested into Rani. They do have a lot of equity in the company, but I am still majority stakeholder. If you guys watch Shark Tank, I feel like this is like, I'm talking to, like, you know, people who know all of the business side of it. If you don't understand it, you don't understand it. But yes, I did have to bring in an investor into this company because it is not cheap. It's not cheap to start a company in general. LM Beckham asks, how are you deciding what products to launch and when? Do you already have a schedule for years to come, or is it a more of a play by the ear kind of thing? So this is something else that I think people don't understand about a makeup line, and it's something I didn't really know either, is that formulating and releasing a product takes a lot longer than you think. Like I said, I've been working on these lipsticks. I actually started formulating them in November of 2015. And they just came out in April of 2017. And yes, I am super picky, and I was very, very picky with this launch. So it took maybe a little bit longer than it should have, but usually it takes a good year turnaround to release product. Now, the reason that is a bad thing is because if you're trying to release things that are on trend, it's really hard to predict the trend of next year. For example, people ask me, why didn't you just come out with matte nude liquid lipsticks? Because about, a year and a half ago, there were so many nude matte liquid lipsticks on the market, and a year and a half later, here we are, and there are even more nude matte liquid lipsticks. That doesn't mean that I'm never gonna release nude matte liquid lipsticks, but I had to predict, okay, in about a year and a half, what are people already gonna have enough of in their collection and they're probably going to be over, and what's going to be something that's different and new and something people haven't seen. Because let's be real, a nude matte liquid lipstick is not going to put my company on the market. It's not going to be new. It's not going to be innovative. You can literally get a nude matte liquid lipstick from any other brand, and I just wanted to release something different. Once again, doesn't mean all of my products are going to be trendy or different or anything like that. I mean, I will release basics as well, but for my first launch, I knew a basic product was not going to be the way to go, and I'm happy with what I chose to do. I literally did not even answer the question. Do you have a schedule for years to come, or is it more of a play by the ear kind of thing? It's not a play by the ear kind of thing. I have scheduled things all the way through 2018. I already have like holiday of 2018 planned out, and we're already working on it. My Passion Point said a whole bunch of really sweet comments. She said, hey Shani, I've been a long-time follower of your YouTube channel and a great admirer of you too. I'm so happy for your makeup line initiative and wish you all the best for it. Thank you so much. But she also asked me a question and said, what do you envision for your brand when compared to Sephora line of brands? Vision and mission ideals would be great. So this is a great question. I feel like I did sort of answer it in my announcement video, but when I started Rani, I kind of wanted to fill a little bit of a void in the makeup market. Wearable, very, useful makeup products for all skin tones, but specifically geared for tan complexions. I feel like we see, most major mainstream makeup brands do cater for light to medium skin. That's just what we see a lot, even in Sephora or in the drugstore. Not to say that brands aren't getting better about it, because recently they've definitely been getting better. Foundation ranges are getting larger, both in the lighter spectrum and the darker spectrum, which I think is fantastic. But just in general, I mean, for example, when you hear the word nude lipstick, what do people think of? Generally, you think of a light, peachy, brownie nude. It's rare that you think of a nude being something like a medium or maybe a medium dark pinky brown, which is what I consider my nude. So I feel like for the longest time, not just the market, but even the terminology we use is just so geared towards light to medium skin. So I basically wanted to change that a little bit and create products that will work on tan complexion, but I mean, they work on all skin tones, and there are some amazing Rani Cosmetics lip swatch and review videos for all skin tones here on YouTube. I'll link a couple down below. Haley08 asks, is your goal one day to sell at Sephora? So actually a lot of people did ask about, do you want to sell in stores, Sephora, Ulta, etc. Someone else also asked if I wanted to stay indie, like just kind of stay small and online, and that's, it's just where I'm starting. It's a starting point. I'm not saying, oh, by this date I need to be in Sephora, but I'm also not telling myself that I'm against it. I would love for Rani Cosmetics to be available to as many people as possible, and of course selling at a mass chain retailer like Sephora or Ulta or something like that is the way to do that, because then you would be able to go in store and swatch it and play with it and see it in person. And how cool would it be to like walk into a store and just like see my product there? I actually think I would cry. Like I would literally stand there in front of a display and cry. Beauty by Lavau asks, out of all of your sparked dazzling lipsticks, which one is your favorite? Mine is Tattoo. It goes with everything and such a unique nude. So I'm so glad that you love Tattoo. And this is funny because me and my friends were talking about this the other day, and I told them, I was like, I think my favorite lipstick, and I was like, I know I'm not really allowed to pick favorites because they're all like my babies. I worked on them for so long, but I think my favorite is Syrup. I think it's just because I generally gravitate towards those kind of pinky berry colors in general. I feel like they just look so good on my skin, and I love the way I look in them, and I just love how they make your face just light up. Shh, don't tell the other colors though, because I feel like it's like picking a favorite child. Texas Golden Girl asks, is your brand something you see as a long-term goal / plan for your future? So proud of you, by the way. Thank you so much. Yeah, I would love it to be. I mean, I have invested so much time and effort and energy into this company and into this brand. I would love for it to be something that I could do forever. Of course, only time will tell that, but I mean, I would love for it to be my forever. I guess we will go ahead and end this Q&A on that note. I hope I answered all of the big questions that you guys had. Thank you guys so much for watching. In case you guys haven't shopped my lipsticks yet, I will go ahead and leave a link for you guys to shop Rani Cosmetics up here. I will also leave a subscribe link for my YouTube channel down there. But that is everything for today. Thank you guys so much for watching yet again, and I will talk to you guys in my next video on Monday. I will see you then. Bye!